This is the Ocelot Virtue, and it's absolutely stunning, but don't buy it. So it's based on the Lotus I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's a fabulous replica, it really is. It has very few downsides. One of them is this: if you choose the wrong splitter, this happens. But luckily, with this car, it's really forgiving. And it's really forgiving because it is one of the fastest accelerating vehicles in the game. And it feels it. You're up to speed in no time. It's an absolutely fabulous bit of kit, but don't buy it. So normally this thing costs you just under 3 million, 2.98 I think it is. It has a trade price of 2.3 million, and this week it's on offer at 40% off, which brings it right down to under 1.5 million for the trade price, which is an absolute bargain for what I think is one of the best, if not the best, free mode car in the game. But don't buy it. Drive-wise, this thing is fabulous. It does seem to be a little bit light, which is why sometimes that happens. But that doesn't seem like a big enough reason not to buy it. So why am I telling you not to buy it? Well, if you're an experienced player, you'll already know. But if you're new to the game, you might not. So bear with me on this one. You can get this car for free. Every single player can get this car for free. And that includes if you have multiple accounts. So if you have 2 accounts on your PlayStation 5 or your PS4 or whatever you play on, if you have multiple accounts, you can claim this for every single account. All you have to do are a few teeny weeny little acid lab missions. Now the acid lab is probably the best starter business in the game. I've got a guide to how to get through that up here, but what will happen is if you go through and do all of those missions, at the end of them you'll be able to claim this for free. So why am I even reviewing it? Because based on that, there's absolutely no point to buying it ever. That's not strictly true, because there is one reason I can think that you will buy it. We'll come to that in a second, but let's go through the review. Speed, brilliant. Acceleration off the mark, absolutely awesome. Handling, you get used to it, I'll say that, you get used to it. It's a little bit lively and a little bit loose, but because the acceleration is so ferocious, you get away with it. It kind of doesn't matter if you crash a lot, because you can get back up to speed really quickly. So it doesn't have the most grip in the game. Its biggest downside, as with all the EVs in GTA Online, is its top speed, which is incredibly weak, as you can see up here. On top of that, this is an Amani Tech car. So if you put the armor plating on this, and you can take, I believe it's 11 RGPs, it can either take 11 RPGs or 11 RGPs, whatever they are. But whatever they both are, it can take 11 of both of them, which is pretty good. And that makes this a fabulous free mode car, because it can also come with the lock-on jammer, which means, you know, they can't get you, which is good. So what's the one reason to buy it? Well, there is a reason, and it's not just if you're collecting and you want lots of the same thing, and it's to do with the Amani Tech, because one of the other options for this with the Amani Tech is the remote control, but you have to choose between remote control and missile lock-on jammer. And if you want the missile lock-on jammer and the armor for something that you can use in free mode, but you also want to have a little bit of fun trolling people, then you're going to need the second one, so you can put remote control on one of them. And that, I'll be honest, that's the only reason I can think that you would possibly want to have more than one of these. So, car itself, absolute must-have. Really is a must-have. Every player in the game should have this car, especially if you're just starting out. It's a great starter car. It's so good for missions. It's so good for free mode. In fact, I'm going to go out there and say I do think this is the best car in the game. And here's the time it managed to do, and here's where it sits on the lap board. And we've got some lovely music to play us out. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next one.